Another big story, politically, the Home Secretary, Suella Braverman, is at the heart, isn't she, of this Stop the Boats legislation. But she's got a big fight on her hands in her own constituency backyard. Her constituency is disappearing. So is one of the neighbouring MP. A new constituency is being created, Fareham and Waterloo. And it's being called the New Battle of Waterloo because they decide tonight which one of them gets the seat. Dawn, you'd think it would be her, because she's the Home Secretary.
You would have thought so. I must admit, I've never heard of the other lady, but then why would I? But everyone has heard of Suella Braverman, and that is probably a problem because she is incredibly divisive.
Yeah. The other candidate against is Flick Drummond, who's another Tory MP, so the local Conservative Association will decide tonight. Somebody who knows these stories inside out is Lord Hayward, Lord Robert Hayward. Robert, I can call you Robert. Robert, former Tory MP, brilliant pollster. Robert, people listening would think, oh, it's going to be the Home Secretary for sure. She's high profile. She's doing her best on Stop the Boats. Who's ever heard of Flick Drummond? But sometimes constituency associations quite like the quiet, assiduous backbencher who gets on with it rather than the cabinet minister strutting his or her stuff on the national stage.
Absolutely, and you've always got these mixture of emotions. As you say, I've chaired a fair number of these selection meetings, and you get those people in the audience who want a good local constituency MP, and there are others who say, oh no, we want a cabinet minister as our candidate. So you will get the contrast this evening between the two candidates who, as you say, are brought together because of the revised boundaries that have been drawn for the next election.
Home Secretary loses this selection battle tonight, Robert. That would look very bad for her political authority if even local Tories don't want her. And would that impact on her ability to do her job as Home Secretary?
No, I don't think it would. And you've got the balance of the membership. You're not looking here at the balance of voters from one constituency or the other. You're looking at where the membership happens to come from and whether they are supporting which of the two candidates. And to be honest, I don't know where that balance actually lies. So it may well not look bad if the balance of the membership is in favour of Flick Drummond and they go for Flick Drummond. The interesting thing in Suella Braverman's case is that if she doesn't win tonight, and by the way, here's your quiz question for the day, do you know where the name Waterlooville actually comes from? But Suella Braverman could go for another constituency called Hamble Valley, which takes a large part of her existing constituency as well.
Robert, how much of this is going to come down to how good literally a constituency MP they are, and how much of the big policies that people, the boat policy and recently the grooming gang announcement that Suella made this week, what is going to sway things more?
In general, people vote for, although there is always a group of people who say, no, we want a cabinet minister, most members want a candidate who is identifiable and serving their local constituency. So there are, within any audience, a balance of views, and it depends how that balance works out this evening as to who is likely to win. And
do you have a hunch?
Also... Sorry?
Sorry, no, carry on, Robert. I interrupted you. Carry on.
It's all right. I was going to say many of the people who vote will be voting on their experience with both the MPs over the last few years, because unlike a normal selection where the members are confronted by three people they may not know, they may have limited experience with. In this case, you've got two MPs, and the members will therefore have known them for a period of time. I chaired Suella's selection originally in Fareham and met many of the members when they overwhelmingly chose her. But it is a question of experience over the last few years, which will be a key factor.
What's your hunch?
I don't have one. I don't know where the balance of membership lies, and that is key. Because you may find that there's one or two strong branches which have got lots of members on one side of the constituency or the other, and I'm afraid I don't know where that membership lies.
And how easy would it be if Suella did lose tonight to go to be moved to another constituency? How does that happen? How easy would it be?
Well, the first thing that would happen if she did lose was, as I say, that a large part of her existing constituency, it goes into a new constituency called Hamble Valley. So it would be perfectly reasonable for her to stand for Hamble Valley. She's likely, and this is the difficulty in that part of the country, she is likely there. If she doesn't win this evening, stands for Hamble Valley, she will be up against another Conservative MP, Paul Holmes. So it is very complex in that part of South East Hampshire.
Let's broaden it, Robert, because a poll came out yesterday, YouGov, showing Rishi Sunak has pulled level with Keir Starmer, the Labour leader, and who would make the best Prime Minister. But the Tories stayed miles behind Labour, who I think still had a lead of about 20 points. So good on the one hand, but not on the other.
Yes, and one of the striking things that's coming back from people who are canvassing for the local elections across the whole of large parts of England is that they're saying that now Rishi is a positive on the doorsteps. He's been there long enough. There's a sense of competence and order about his prime ministership that there is that sense that he is something that people can sell from the Conservative side. And normally, voting intention runs with best Prime Minister. At the moment, Rishi is well ahead of the Tory party and Keir Starmer is well behind the Labour Party. And over the next few months, we're going to see whether Keir Starmer goes up to the Labour Party or Rishi Sunak draws the Conservatives up to his level.
Interesting.
You've got to tell us where Waterlooville came from, Robert.
Yeah, go on.
Leave
us hanging.
You teased us.
It's actually where the forces that were actually being brought together for the Battle of Waterloo were based. That was where they were brought together in the 19th century in preparation for the expedition which ultimately resulted in the Battle of Waterloo.
You know everything.
Educational as well on GB News this morning.
Great to talk to you, Robert. That's Robert Hayward, Lord Hayward, on that battle. And, of course, we'll keep